friends, and welcome to another book box unboxing. Today I have Once Upon a Book Club box for you. It is their adult version and currently one of my favorite book boxes, and I can tell you why. This is such a unique experience. I mean, you get this monthly book and then on certain pages there are post-its, and when you get to these post-its you get to open a gift that is inside this box. So it's really a unique way of reading and I absolutely love it. If you're curious to see what book we got in the January box and the gifts that I got to open, then don't worry, I will give you guys the same and full experience as I had when opening this box. Oh, and also I became a very important page turner for Once Upon a Book Club box, a VIP, and that means I have a personal coupon code, so keep on watching. If you like these kind of book box unboxings or other magical unboxings, then don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit that bell so you never miss another video of me again. Enough talking, let's get unboxing. Let's first take a little peek inside the box. So this is how that looks, and you can see that the book is on top. The book that we got in their January box is The Last Letter from Juliet by Melanie, Hudson, and some of you may have already seen this because I post photos of my TBR each month on my Instagram and this book was in it. So yeah, I will read the description so you guys can get an idea of what this book is about. This is a note to yourself, Juliet. You must keep the memories alive, because once upon a time you told a man called Edward Nancaro that you would, and it's important to keep that promise. A daring World War II pilot who grew up among the clouds, Juliet Caron's life was one of courage, adventure, and the love torn apart by war. Every nook of her Cornish cottage is alive, with memories just waiting to be discovered. Catherine Henderson has escaped to Cornwall for Christmas, but she soon finds there is more to her holiday cottage than meets the eye. And on the eve of Juliet's 100th birthday, Catherine is enlisted to make an old lady's final Christmas wish come true. Inspired by the brave women of the Second World War, this is a moving and powerful novel of friendship, love, and resilience. I can tell you, I cried my eyes out over this book, especially the ending. I needed tissue papers because it was so emotional. Even more so when I found out that the author, Melanie Hudson, based Juliet on a real life pilot girl. I think her name was Mary Ellis. Yeah, her name was Mary Ellis, and she apparently was a Spitfire girl. And before this book, I didn't know what Spitfire girls were. But these were just amazing women, and it was such a joy to read a book about these powerful, badass women. This book is classified as an historical fiction. It has 415 pages and it has a rating of 4.5 stars on Goodreads. This book is obviously about women who are piloting for the Second World War. So if you're looking for a historical fiction book that puts women center stage, this is the book for you. But for me, at its core was the romance, an unattainable, passionate romance. And when I was laying on the couch or in my bed, I found myself like saying out loud, go to him, Juliet. So yeah, that's how emotionally invested I was in this book. Why did I give it 5 stars? Because something the author did. I mean, she made a lot of grammatical errors and double words in the sentences. It didn't happen 3 or 4 times. It happened like 10 times, and some of these times really got me out of the story. So that's such a shame, because I would have given this story 5 stars. It is worth 5 stars, but because of these errors I just couldn't do that, and I ended up giving the book 4 stars. Oh, and I learned what a cutty-wampler is. If you want to read the full review of The Last Letter from Juliet, you can find me on Goodreads. I will leave a link to that in my description down below. And also the personal coupon code that I promised you is Leanda Books 10. So that is Leanda Books 10. And with that you can get 10% off your first box. But for now, let's just read the parts that correspond to the gifts and open the gifts. The first post-it can be found on page 24. 24, and this is the part where Catherine just arrived at the Cornwall cottage that used to belong to Juliet. A photograph frame sat on the windowsill. The black and white image inside was of a woman standing in front of a biplane, holding a flying helmet and goggles, smiling brightly, squinting slightly against the sun. There was a tag attached to the photo. I read it. Summer 1938. Edward took this. Our first full day together. 2 days in one. Fantastic and tragic all at once. Why can we never have the one without the other? Why can't we have light without shade? The corresponding gift is this beautiful box that looks like a postcard, and it says Miss Juliet Karen, page 24, Cornwall, England. And when you open this box, the same picture frame. Like, this already almost made me cry. So yeah, I think this is a gorgeous gift that really makes the story come alive. And I am wondering if this is Mary Ellis, that they used the photos from her, but I'm not sure about that. Because it looks like an actual photo that was taken around that time. And also the inside of this box contains beautiful pictures. And again, I think these are actual pictures from the Second World War. On this one, you can see some of the planes. I think these are the pictures from Mary Ellis. That is really moving. I mean, especially when you read the story. Let me show you guys the other picture. So these are the Spitfire girls. And in this book, they are called the Ada girls because of the air transport auxiliary. Oh, I don't know if I remember that correctly. This next part is about Juliet that is trying to find a purpose in the Second World War, knowing that she is a pilot and she can be of good use. Join the ADA, Air Transport Auxiliary. They deliver aircraft from the factories to all the air bases, move aircraft around the country for maintenance, that kind of thing. They're letting a few women in as pilots now. I suppose there simply aren't enough chaps around to meet them on these days. Janie grabbed her clutch bag, snapped open the fasteners, took out a newspaper clipping and rested it on the table in front of me. There you go. Wanted. Women pilots to fly for Air Transport Auxiliary. Salary £400 per year. Further details, write to P.O. Box 410. £400 a year, guys. Yeah. Let me get the corresponding gift. It came inside this bag. And when you open it, there is another bag. And when you open that one, you get the same clutch bag that... There you go. You get the same clutch bag that they were talking about in the story, so that Janie pulled out. And I think this is such a gorgeous design. It really reminds me of that time, and I love the color. And when you open it, it has this gorgeous print inside, and of course the wanted poster. Look at that. I love the illustration on there. It actually seems like it's from 1938. The next post-it can be found on page 304, and this is a part where Juliet has to go on a mission alongside Anna, and they are both Ada girls at this point. I danced out after her. She was already in the cockpit, the canopy pulled back, going through her checks, the rotor blade not turning yet. I climbed on the wing. "That's my jacket," I said, but she was already strapped in. She began to unstrap. "No, don't worry, I'll fly in yours, but I need my compass. It's in the right pocket. Sorry, I know it's ridiculous, but I never fly without it." She reached through her parachute straps and delved into the pockets. "And don't forget," I shouted above the noise of the airfield, taking the compass. "If the weather closes in, turn back." The gift came in this little box, and I think you can guess what's inside. And the outside of the box looks like a pack of letters. So when you open it, you get the compass That is another thing that really pulled me in the story. And at the back there is a poem, Remember, by Christina Rossetti, and that is also something that is mentioned in the book. I hope you guys can see this. It's going to focus. There you have the poem Remember. Okay, next part. I am feeling the emotions all over again because this is a really sad part in this story, and it just reminds me of everything that Juliet went through to get where she got. And yeah, it is just a really sad story, I can tell you that. This part, Juliet is celebrating her 100th birthday, and she asks her grandson to take her flying. You sure you want to go? Juliet nodded and glanced around the desolate airfield. I'm sure. Sam lifted Juliet into the seat and tucked her up with blankets, and before I could run after them and beg Juliet to change her mind, the sparkling yellow tiger moth was speeding along the runway, and as I lifted my hand to cover the glare of the midday sun, I saw Juliet waving at me wildly from the front seat, her bright yellow scarf trailing behind her. Okay, I'm actually getting emotional again. Oh, this is horrible. And to give you an example of the thing I mentioned at the beginning, the reason I didn't give it 5 stars, this is such an emotional moment, but there is an error in the sentence. It says, you're sure you want to go. So that pulls you out. I mean, if you're reading, you're sure you won't go, your brain just likes that isn't a good sentence, so you stop reading. The gift came in this bag, and when you open it, you find the scarf that Julia is wearing. And I have to say, this is really big. I mean, hello. And it is such a good quality scarf. I mean, I love the color, I love the fabric, I love that it's big. I mean, oh yeah, love it. Oh, that's too tight. But yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful scarf, and I am definitely going to wear this. It even has, and I thought this was pretty cool, it even has a label on there which says tiger moth. Okay guys, we have reached the last gift for this month's box, and this is a big spoiler, so if you are still interested to read the book, then I suggest you skip this part. So this is a part where Juliet has just died, and she has left something for Catherine and her grandson. It's a letter from Juliet, Sam said, sitting down on the rocks beside me and placing an envelope on my lap. Fenella made swift excuses to leave. I got one too, he said. She dictated them to the night manager at the care home. I read mine this morning. He handed me the letter with a smile. I stared at it. If I open it, I may possibly cry. Don't worry, I've shed buckets this morning. Open it, you won't be disappointed. And the corresponding gift is that letter. So this is the letter that Juliet wrote to Catherine. And you can see at the top that it says a Lanyon house for the elderly care. And it actually looks like it's handwritten. And then at the other side you can see it says Juliet. Those are all the gifts, and I have to say the January box was an emotional one. They really did a good job with finding gifts that makes you feel like you're getting to know the main character, Juliet. Per usual, the box also contains a card with a quote, and this time it says, "The most beautiful woman in any room is the woman with the most joy in her heart." And we also have the leaflet with read-along dates, meet the author, and discussion dates. That was it, another Once Upon a Book Club box unboxing. If you guys enjoyed it, then please give it a thumbs up, and all that's left for me to say is have a magical day and let's stay in touch.